Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another experiment or showcase as such for this database. This is phenomenal, this database. It's by the mad scientist, FM editor, and the retro FM editors over on Twitter and all that stuff. So I'll make sure it's all linked in the description, both their Twitters and the where to find this database. But basically what it does is it starts you in 1990, and from there, as the seasons go on, players get introduced in the game as they did in real life. So players like Gareth Bale would turn up at Spurs or Mbappe at Monaco as the seasons go on, when they would have done in real life, and it is absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to have a quick look around at the start. I've simulated through a few seasons, so we'll take a look at kind of who comes through, where they come through, and how good they get, maybe even where they go, because it won't necessarily obviously happen just like in real life. So we'll take a look through, but I just wanted to take a quick look at the players that are already starting the game. So you've got players like Diego Maradona, 29 years of age at this point, 20 dribbling at Napoli, so a very good looking player. You've got players like Glenn Hoddle, another player who's obviously at Monaco during this period. Paolo Maldini, a left back. Obviously the players do have regen faces. That's how they've managed to get it working. So they come through and they look like that, but they still look very, very good. And I mean, it all makes sense. There are ways of getting pictures in, I'm sure, so you can work out that. I think they're working on some pictures for players, so keep an eye out for that in the future. But got Carlo Ancelotti as well, 31-year-olds at AC Milan. So I thought we could take a look at a couple of the kind of teams as well, and what kind of players they've got. So there are only a few leagues actually able to do this with. One of those leagues is the Premier League, or the First Division. Sir Alex Ferguson obviously in charge at this point. Let's take a look at the players. So you've got the likes of Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister, Mike Phelan, Neil Webber, Paul Ince, Paul Scholes obviously in there at 15 years of age, Mark Hughes, Ryan Giggs at 16, and then if we look at the under-23s, you can see in here as well, you've got Darren Ferguson, you've got Matty Phillips. Who else have we got in here? So it looks like that, and obviously, I mean, the big boys will be coming through in the Man United team. Let's take a look at one of the other clubs. So like Southampton as well. This is obviously my club, the club I support. And you can see here, Neil Ruddock's obviously in there. Matt Letizia is in there with 20 penalty taking, kind of playing that enganced role. Not the most athletic at 21 years of age, but very, very good on the ball. Kevin Phillips, another player who's only 16 to start with. Alan Shearer as well. Glenn Cockrell. All players that obviously played for them in real life. Tim Flowers as well in there. What about Tottenham? Any players in here that you might recognise? I'm sure there will be a few that you'll see. Paul Gascoigne, Nick Barmby, Gary Lineker as well there. Certainly well known. And obviously there's so many players in here. Like I'll just flick through and you can see all those players that you kind of got to keep an eye out for and see what they've got. But it's so cool. It's so cool. I think this sort of thing is very impressive how they do it. I'm so surprised that they've even been able to. Sol Campbell as well. He's in there at age 15. Some of the stats may be a little bit over the top, but hey, it's good fun. I've started playing with the Southampton save, and it's so much fun because you can find players who you just would never have. Like you know where players are going to come in. One of those players is Zinedine Zidane, who is at Cannes at the start of the game. And he's on a free. You can sign him on a free. Like I did that in the save I was playing. It's Zinedine Zidane. I'll be interested to see how he develops, where he goes, what happens next. So it's all very cool stuff. This we could take a quick look at AC Milan, who obviously have a very, very good team. Start with. So you've got Carlo Cudicini's in there at 16 years of age, but you've got Frank Rijkaard, Rue Gullit, Carlo Ancelotti, Marco van Basten as well in there. So some very, very good players. in there as well. But like I say, it's a case that as you go through, Paolo Maldini, look at that, 22 years old, left back, looks very, very good. Those mentals are amazing for a 22-year-old. But you can see there's so many players. George Weah as well in there, currently at Monaco, a great striker. You've got the likes. There's just so many players here, like Rugullet, as we mentioned, Alan Smith, Kerry Dixon, Graham Sharp. There's so many players, but what we'll do is, like I say, we'll jump 5 years ahead, see kind of who's around, where players are, who's the most valued, because that's another thing that we've noticed is that the valuations are a lot lower. Like in real life, they were a lot lower back then. 20 million value for David Platt is the kind of highest one on the list here, with Dunga in second place as well. Ian Rush sitting up there as well with Hugo Sanchez. But so we'll jump ahead 5 years, see how the world's changed, how it's gone, see if we can find any youngsters out there, and we'll take a look. So we are in 1995 now. So 5 years on, a year before I was born, and we can take a look at some of those players that have come through. So Hernan Crespo is one of those players that has actually come through into the game. As you can see, obviously he's come through in the 21-22 season, so he didn't start in the game, but he was obviously at River Plate. Man United bought him for £1.7 million. And Hernan Crespo's at Man United. There you have it. That's one of the things that happens. Gilberto Silva at Arsenal. He's come through there. Already made a cap for Brazil. Looks very, very good. It would be interesting to see how Arsenal get on in the kind of Premier League and if they can go the unbeaten season. William Gallas at Marseille. Another player that's come through. 17 years old. Who else we got? David Trezeguet, who's obviously a massive name at Sochaux at the moment on loan from Monaco, 17 years old. But look at those stats. It's just ridiculous. But I think that's what's so fun about this is like you get these players coming through and they are as good as they probably are in real life. Andriy Shevchenko, again, another player in there, Ukrainian, Dynamo Kiev. So many players. Francesco Totti as well. It's so cool to see these guys coming through and you can just pick them up. Michael Owen, 15-year-old at Liverpool. Nice and pacey. Good dribbling, good finishing, good technique. If you can jump in there and get him in nice and early, why not? Why not at all? Emil Heskey as well. Get him and Owen up top nice and early on in the game. You could have a partnership set for over a decade. Phil Neville as well. It's like Man United. Again, they'll have players in there. So you've got all these players. Steve Bruce is in there. Gary Neville has come through. Paul Ince is obviously there. You've got Roy Keane, who's joined from Nottingham Forest. Kevin Phillips has moved to Man United. Nicky Butt, Ryan Giggs. Roberto Mancini's in there now. Romario, Hernan Crespo, Gabriel Batistuta even. It's amazing. Man United won the league very comfortably by the looks of things. Liverpool in second place as well with McManaman, Fowler, Eric Cantona up top and Cafu at right back. That's not bad with Schmeichel in goal. Aston Villa as well. A good strong side. Roy Hodgson as manager there with, it looks like Paul Beasley at left back. Tottenham again. Waddle out on this left-hand side. It's amazing. Sol Campbell, it looks like he's developed as a centre midfielder. That's another thing that changes in this as well. Players start to develop as different positions as well. As you saw, Luke Young was their kind of star man, but there's so many players. Clarence Seedorf as well, 19 years old, coming in through the Ajax Academy. Olof Mellberg, a player that's at Santander to start with, 17 years old, come through in the second season. All amazing players. Raul as well, 17 years old, comes through, second season at Real Madrid. Might be a bit of a challenge to take him away from him, but there you have it. Alessandro Nesta as well. There's so many players, and I'd recommend you getting this save, simming a few years on, seeing where players are at. Get to a stage where you're comfortable and you're happy to kind of go in and kind of nickel the young players and really make them into the stars that they are in real life. But we'll jump another 5 years into the year 2000, see how things are, see where we're at, what players are where, some of the big names around, and go from there. So here we are. We can see Zinedine Zidane has become a £30 million player at Napoli. We said he's a player that goes on a free at the start of the game. Looks like it was a free to Napoli. And there you have it. Look at those stats. He's an incredible player. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. You've got Alessandro Del Piero, Robbie Fowler, Alan Shearer's at Liverpool instead of Newcastle following his time at Saints. Deco at Inter Milan. Ryan Giggs stays at Man United. David Beckham goes out to Real Madrid. Similar to real life with how he moved from Man United to Real Madrid. £33 million signing for Real Madrid. And then you have Claude Makelele, a great player to have coming in the side at Nantes at the start of the game. Another fantastic player. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. I think Real Madrid would be a good team to take a quick look at. You've got Bergkamp up top with Milan next to him. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank on the right. You've got Roy Keane and Makelele in the middle. What a team in the middle there. No one's going to be able to outmuscle them. You've got Sylvain Wilsord on the left-hand side. Hierro at the back with Desai. I mean, what a few players there. Barcelona, how have they got on there? They got Matt Letizia in midfield. And it looks like they've also got Ricardo Carvalho at the back as well. Thierry Henry is there, and you can see the hot prospect Andres Iniesta coming through the ranks at 16 years of age. Have they got any more of the big players coming through? Mikel Arteta as well, coming in as a left midfielder. It's impressive stuff. I can't really say much more than that. It's just so cool seeing these players come through and start to develop in the sides. Let's take a look. One thing we could do is Pavel Nedved's at Liverpool. We could take a look at the World Player of the Year and see kind of who's won it so far. So in the first year, it was Gary Lineker, second being Maradona and Eric Cantona in third. Dennis Bergkamp won it in 2021 with Chris Waddle and Michael Laudrup just behind him. Roberto Baggio, then Bergkamp, then Van Basten. Giovanni Albert, Ryan Giggs, Mark Hughes, two Man United players in there. Bergkamp's won it 4 years running at Real Madrid. That's quite ridiculous. And then Lucarelli beating Bergkamp the year after, and then Elbert won it again. But has Bergkamp been in it every year? No, he hasn't. He's only missed 2 years since he's been around. That's quite ridiculous, really, isn't it? I can't quite believe that. World Cup winners, though. Holland won the World Cup. And as you can see there, look at all those players that are in the Holland squad. Bergkamp. Is that meant to be... Oh, no. I was going to say, is that meant to be Gullit? That's not right. Van Nistelrooy up top. Where's Van Nistelrooy? He's at Inter Milan. You obviously got Hasselbank. You've got Jaap Stam, who's at Chelsea. Edwin van der Sar, still at Ajax there. Frank de Boer at Ajax as well. Overmars, Davids. It is so cool to see. And then you've got France as well. Claude Makelele, Zinedine Zidane, Desailly, Didier Deschamps. Great players. Great players. But we'll jump again another 5 years. 2005 will be coming up next. See if you recognise any of the players coming through. And if it interests you, obviously, link in description. And here we are, 2005. Samuel Eto'o is valued at the highest, along with Ronaldo. Samuel Eto'o at Real Madrid currently, having started his career there. Quite the player. 52 goals in 57 appearances for Cameroon. It's quite phenomenal, and he's done very, very well for Real Madrid as well. You can't deny that. He's a good player in real life. Ronaldo as well. He's at Roma. 64 goals in 68 games for Brazil. I mean, let's just have a look at this Brazil squad, because this has got to be a hell of a team. Look at that. You got Ronaldo up top. You got Deco in the middle there. You got the likes of Lucio at the back, currently playing at Barcelona. Roberto Carlos at left back, who's at Palmeiras at the start of the game. I mean, this is just insane. Gilberto Silva as well. Rubinho's even in there, 21-year-old from Santos. He's come through. Dida, what a player he is. That's great to see. It's so cool. It's so cool to see these players in this teams. Hernan Crespo still at Man United. That's an interesting one to see. Raul there as well. Robbie Fowler at Barcelona. Del Piero at Barcelona. I mean, Barcelona looks like absolute unit. And they've even got Messi coming through now at 17 years of age in 2005. 3 goals in 3 games this season. Ain't bad, really. Wonder if he gets as good. You got Xavi in there as well. Andres Iniesta is playing right back for them. That's a bit of a change up in positions. They're obviously in second place. Then if we take a look at Real Madrid as well, we can see David Beckham on the right hand side. Trezeguet, Keenan Makaleli are still in there. Is that Kolo Touré? It is. Kolo Touré's centre half. Louis van Gaal's the manager. Cassius is in goal. It's just ridiculous. It's madness. This is absolute madness. Hernan Crespo up top. Giggs at the left hand side. I can't believe it. It's quite crazy, really. Emmanuel Adebayor's at Chelsea. Van der Vaart's at Ajax now. Let's see if we can find any of the young players that have come through. So if we go 17, who have we got coming through? At Man United, you've got Johnny Evans, Tom Cleverley, Ryan Shawcross, Darren Gibson, Max Gradle at Liverpool, Lionel Messi obviously coming through as we saw, Kaios Veya, Alex Song is currently at Southampton, having started at Arsenal. That's quite an interesting sign. Samir Nasri as well, Fabrice Muamba, Mark Albrighton as well, Nicholas Bentner, who's at Newcastle. There's just so many players. Gonzalo Higuain is at at River Plate. I mean, another player that you should look to sign when he comes through. Anthony Van den Bora, Jake Livermore at Spurs, Jonathan Biabiani at Inter Milan, Andre Ayew, Mats Hummels is coming through. I can't quite put it into words how insanely cool this is. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, another one. Adam Lallana coming through at Saints. Gareth Bale coming through at Saints, who he did come through as a left back, but he's obviously just come through as a winger. Theo Walcott as well coming through there. You've got Denilson, the former Arsenal man. Toby Alderweireld at Ajax. It's so cool. It's so cool. Diego Costa as well. Young husband Phil. Is Young Husband his first name and Phil his second, or is he Phil Young Husband? What? That's really weird. I've never seen anything like that before. I know sometimes you say it the other way around. Anyway, Sergio Aguero as well at Independiente. That wouldn't be a bad signing to bring in. We'll jump another 5 years, 2010, see how things are going there, and take another look. And here we are. Raheem Sterling is the highest paid, valued 15-year-old coming in at Liverpool. Nathaniel Chalobah as well there. Mbaye Niang, James Ward-Prowse coming through. Sebastian Haller, Corentin Tolisso. Bunch of players. But let's take a look at the overall players in this. Let's take a look here. So João Pereira is the big man for Real Madrid. But Michael Owen is there still. He's up the top in 2010, which is quite surprising, I'd say. But you can see here, those stats looking great. 230 goals and 407 appearances. Not bad at all. Cristiano Ronaldo is in fact at Barcelona, having come through at Sporting. Bought for £14 million and has been phenomenal. There you have it. Quite impressive. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, another player that has come through 9 years on from the start of the game. And he's at Barcelona, kind of like his real life. I don't think he stopped off at Cologne, though, in real life. But there you have it. Van der Vaart, as we saw earlier. Frank Ribéry at Arsenal. Djibril Cissé at Tottenham. Radamel Falcao at Everton. El Hadji Diouf at Marseille. Obviously, Lionel Messi looking better and better every time we see him. Luka Modric is in there at Nottingham Forest. And the same with Kaká. Kaká's at Nottingham. That's just madness. What? What's Nottingham Forest team like? Modric, Sanya, Joseph Yobo. Is that Gabriel Hines? Yeah. You got Nicholas Zigic up top with Ruud van Nistelrooy, with Kaká and Modric in midfield for Nottingham Forest. That is quite insane. And then Southampton have Luis Fabiano up top with Walcott and Bale on either side. And Lovren at the back, which is quite interesting considering he actually did play for Saints. Man United, though, let's see what sort of players they've got. Robinho is now there. Evans has come through playing at the back. Hot prospect is Michael Keane now, another player that's coming through the ranks. Tottenham, what sort of players have they got? Jonathan Woodgate there and Ledley King, who I wonder if he's injury prone. Rafa Benitez as manager, and Harry Kane coming through the ranks there. It's so interesting. Liverpool now, Michael Owen up top. You've got Cesc Fabregas in the side, along with Rio Ferdinand and Sol Campbell playing at left back as well. And as we saw, Raheem Sterling coming through there. Wimbledon, obviously a team that technically doesn't exist anymore, as it's AFC Wimbledon, as they had to kind of go and come back sort of thing. They're obviously in the game as well, so they'll be in the Premier League when you start. Matthew Upson, though, coming and playing for Wimbledon in the Premier League, or the First Division. It's just madness. I love it. I absolutely love this. It's so clever how they've done it. I can't say well done enough. As you can see, all the kind of values and stuff are all reduced as well, and as the seasons go on, they go up again, which is very, very cool. Wayne Rooney's there as well, playing for Everton. Stayed there a little longer than he did in real life. Quite the player, I have to say. But we'll jump another 5. 2015 will be next, and we'll take a look. So we're getting closer and closer to kind of the current day. One of the interesting things I have noticed throughout this is that players seem to stick around a little longer, meaning that you can have players who are older and would have retired by the time other players have come through, playing with those players. It's quite mad, really. I mean, Real Madrid and Barcelona seem to have all the best players. It's quite crazy, really, with the likes of Martin Odegaard coming through. They've got Jesse as well, who's through the academy. Gareth Bale has actually signed for him, like in real life. Kolo Touré at the back. This is madness. Wayne Rooney's there as well. What other players do they have? Van der Vaart, Samuel Eto'o, Antoine Griezmann is playing for them. Daniel Agger. Wow, that's quite cool. Seeing Daniel Agger. Chris Kirkland's playing for them. Oh my God, I remember him playing for Wigan. That's amazing. Let's get his stats up. I mean, he's not awful. He's not exactly the quickest at the age of 34, but pretty impressive, having played 3 times for England as well. But let's take a look at Barcelona. See what they've got. They've got Wesley Sneijder in there. They've got Adama Traore who's come through. Is that Joe Cole? Anderson, who's the player who used to play for Arsenal. You got Mexes as well, Montoya. This is crazy. Lionel Messi. I can't stop being so surprised at stuff. This is ridiculous. But Sadio Mane is at Coventry. If you ever want to see Sadio Mane playing for Coventry in the First Division, there you have it. He seems to be doing all right, alongside Lewandowski as well, and Howardez and Lovren and Iago Aspas. It's just, what? Tottenham's won the title, though. That is a shock. Harry Kane up top with Isco, Fernandinho, King, Company at the back. That's quite a partnership with Courtois in goal. That's not bad at all, really. Chelsea, what sort of team have they got? Adebayor, Ronaldinho. Look at that, 35 years old. He's playing in the same team as the likes of Steven Gerrard, John Terry. Is that Luis Suarez? Yeah, Luis Suarez is in there as well. This is just, it is so fun to see. Aguero's at Southampton. Lallana, Walcott, Ward-Prowse. Chambers is in there as well. Is that Craig Gordon? It is. Joe Hart seems to be there as well. Crazy stuff, really. Man United's dropped right off the boil up there as well. Robinho's in there. They've got Lee Catamol, that's probably why. And then also Branislav Ivanovic. Louis van Gaal actually going to Man United as well in a similar time frame. So again, it's really interesting to see how these players all join different teams, same teams, when that is, how they perform. But we'll jump one more year, get to 2020 and kind of have a look back and see what competitions were won by who and how that's all gone. So here we are, 2020, but from the 1990 save. So it's not real life. Timo Werner is the most expensive player at £34.5 million, playing for Real Madrid alongside Harry Kane as well. Kylian Mbappe is at Barcelona. Antoine Griezmann still at Real Madrid. Neymar's at Milan. Sadio Mane is at Real Madrid. Mohamed Salah's at Coventry. Isco at Tottenham. Kevin De Bruyne at Barcelona and can now play right back. Another thing that's quite surprising. Christian Eriksen's at Real Madrid. Eden Hazard's at Chelsea. That's pretty cool that he's actually at the club that he ended up going to. Although he isn't there currently. He may be going back there. You have to keep an eye out. Have a look at one of my other experiments on the channel. But Mason Mount as well coming through. Davy Klaassen, Tony Cruz, Tammy Abraham, Milinkovic-Savic. So you can see all the players are kind of coming through now. Sergio Aguero is at Aston Villa following his time at Southampton. Moved for £24.5 million. That's not a bad amount. Anthony Martial, Kalidou Koulibaly, he's at Coventry. Varane at Real Madrid. Van Dijk. Like, you just look at these teams and it's just kind of crazy. Timo Werner's playing as centre midfielder for Real Madrid. That's a bit mad, that is. So, I mean, it's stuff like this. You just look at this team and you're like, this is kind of crazy, really. It's not right. Martin Odegaard, though, there he is. He's in the team. Rafael Varane. Iker Casillas is retiring. So he's lasted longer in this game than he did in real life, as he retired a few years ago. But there you have it. I mean, there's not much to really look at otherwise. We will take a quick look at the kind of Player of the Year and kind of tournament wins. So let's go with World Player of the Year award. So the Ballon d'Or. Let's see who's won that. So we got up to here. So Paul Scholes won it 1 year. Well, it seems like Man United won everything because they got 3 players as the top 3. Ryan Giggs again. Dennis Bergkamp's back in there. Raul won it as well, just ahead of Ronaldo. He won it for a second time. Then Ryan Giggs won it ahead of Raul. David Trezeguet getting a Ballon d'Or. Then we can see Ronaldo. This is probably the start of where Ronaldo starts winning it, with Zlatan just behind him. Samuel Eto'o won it 2 years running. João Pereira, who I have no idea who that is, so apologies if that's a real person in real life. Zlatan Ibrahimovic won it, which I don't think he's ever done in real life. Cristiano Ronaldo again, winning it one more time. Rudi Carlier, who again I think is just a regen in the game. Lionel Messi getting 3 Ballon d'Ors in a row. Then Cristiano getting another 2 and Messi again. This is very similar to real life. So it's quite impressive really that that's a thing. So there you have it. It's quite ridiculous really. World Team of the Year though, we can have a little flick through these. Let's go back to the very beginning. So you can see Gary Lineker in up front, Rijkaard there, Tony Adams is there as well, Maldini at left back, Bergkamp, Waddle, all sitting in there with Brian Robson as well. Then the next year Bergkamp's up there, Laudrup, again Maldini, Gullit, Waddle, all in there. Bergkamp, Baggio, Laudrup, McAllister, Ronald Koeman sat at the back now. Ryan Giggs one more time, Edgar Davids, Desailly, Cafu at Liverpool. These are all very interesting kind of transfers. Roberto Carlos at Monaco. Bergkamp again up top. Zidane at Napoli along with Cannavaro. Hasselbank, Desailly, Herrero. Again Bergkamp, Giggs being in there, Cafu. These are all like big name players, and these are interesting kind of teams that they're coming up with. That's quite a Real Madrid side. Desailly, Herrero, Makelele, Bergkamp and Ortega. Giggs as well. Sorin, Cafu coming in there. Gallas and Maldini at Arsenal at the back. Giggs on the right hand side. Cannavaro at the back. Bergkamp dropping deeper and deeper. Might be a centre half soon. Roberto Carlos. Thuram there at right back. Robbie Fowler at Barcelona. Raul at Napoli. Pochettino's at Roma. Paul Scholes, Makelele, Giggs, Fowler, Van Bronckhorst. It's just so cool. Makelele's just a beast by the looks of things. He's been in like every single one, I think. I don't think he's missed one. There's his first one he's missed. David Beckham on the right hand side though, with Lucio and Cannavaro at the back. So that's not bad. A Sao Paulo goalkeeper coming in as Diego Valverde. That's quite impressive. I don't think I've ever seen a. It's always often European teams, especially in this sort of thing. So that's quite cool. Just Owen Hargreaves is there. Cristiano Ronaldo at Barca. Zlatan at Barca. Mertesacker is in there. Deco, Eto'o, Owen, Lahm, Ronaldinho for Chelsea. Jabrero, Colo Torre, Kromkamp, Casillas, Mexes, Messi, Ronaldo, Zlatan, Cesc Fabregas. That's the first Juve player I've seen in there. Messi and Ronaldo on either side playing for the same team at Barcelona. Don't think we'll ever get to see that in real life, so that's quite cool. Ronaldinho again in there. Mexes, Lahm, Fabregas one more time. Juan Mata up top. playing there. Isco, Company, Hummels now. Luka Modric playing at Nottingham Forest got in there. Aga at left back. Van Dijk and Company for Spurs. João Cancelo. Cristiano Ronaldo, Griezmann, all in there as well. I think I've skipped a couple there. Gundogan in the last season. Messi, Ozil, Ronaldo, Alaba. All names we know and love. Other than Mazur, which I don't think is a real person. But then all seasons, this is kind of the big one. These are the players kind of over the last 30 years that have been playing so well. So you've got Marcos in goal for Monaco, right back Cafu for Liverpool, Cannavaro and Desailly at centre half, Paolo Maldini for Monaco at left back, Ryan Giggs and Paul Scholes playing centre midfield, having played for Man United. Giggs being there, looks like his whole career. He did end up moving to Chelsea for a year, which didn't happen in real life. Then you've got obviously Bergkamp, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo and Raul, which is quite cool, seeing Ronaldo and Messi in the same team at Barcelona. Manuel Neuer, Lucio, Philip Lahm, Makelele, Roberto Baggio, João Pereira and Samuel Eto'o as well. Some incredible goals. I mean, Dennis Bergkamp is quite the beast on this by the looks of it. So he's certainly a player that I'd recommend if you're going to take a look at this sort of thing. Retirements, obviously, so many retirements. Trophies won. Edgar Davids won 44 trophies. Did he ever leave Ajax? He went to Nottingham Forest for a little bit, but stuck around. Van der Sar as well. Stayed at Ajax his whole career. Claude Makelele stayed at Real Madrid, having gone there. Dennis Bergkamp's obviously there as well. As we saw, Hernan Crespo is Franz Beckenbauer, manager at Marseille apparently. Roberto Carlos. I'm just reading names now because it's so cool. I love it. Anyway, I think we've spent long enough on this. I hope you did enjoy. Like I say, I've linked it all in the description if you've got this far. So take a look. It's all down there. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.